Hi, Stan Griffin, pastor of the Cornerstone Baptist Church of Exeter, and this is Garage Talk. So my wife and I have been talking about some things, and I have some pet peeves. Her not so much, but I do. So confession is good for the soul. I'm going to cover some of those. We like to sit down and enjoy a movie from time to time, but I am a movie critic, not in the quality of the movie, but some of the lines in the movie, especially as a car guy. Perhaps you're a mechanic and you watch these things as well, and they talk about cars that are broken down and it won't start. So what will happen is in a movie scene, they'll have a vehicle and they'll go in and they'll say, okay, try it now. And it won't start. And so then someone says, sounds like it needs a starter. And no, the starter's working fine. The motor's going over. It's not firing. And so they come up with, maybe it's dirty battery cables. No, if it was dirty battery cables, it wouldn't even do anything. It would go, if anything at all. So all of those things they come up with, sayings like, maybe it's got bad carburetor bearings, or wow, yeah, looks like you've got a Barilla dry sump header with dual shock overhead piston bores. Nobody says that stuff, but they write it in movies, and we're supposed to sit there like that's intelligent. So I sit there and I say, that can't happen, and my wife just gets annoyed. So there. I feel better now. I got that off my chest. There are things, though, that do happen to vehicles. And there's an ignition system with a component called an exciter. It's not on every car, but it's on some of them. And if the exciter goes bad, the car will not start. You go in and turn the key, it'll turn over like this. This car is not equipped with an exciter, but some of them have them. My point is sometimes our exciters get broken in life. On your car, in your life, you start to slow down and things are not as fun as they used to be. And you spend more time on the couch, or somebody wants to do stuff. And so things need to be stirred up and excited and get going. And that's not always easy to do, but there's a passage in the Bible that talks about being sure to stir up the gift of God that has been given to you. And so you and I have things in our life that we've been blessed with, whether you recognize it or not. What you have, God has allowed you to have. And so we've been blessed with those things, but sometimes we don't get as excited about them as we used to. So we need to stir those things up. And the picture is, if you grew up in a home that used to burn wood, and you've got to, if the fire gets down, you got to stir the coals and add some wood. And back in the day when we were kids at home, we always burned wood, and Mom and Dad would go off on a date, or they'd take off and they'd come home and it would be cold because we'd been watching TV and fooling around and not feeding the stove. And Dad would come in and say, who let the fire go out? And then he'd say, it's colder than a moose yard in here. And we knew we were in trouble, and we'd pull the cover off the stove and look in there, dead. And there's, and so somebody had to build a fire. So the key is to keep those things exciting and moving and going and stirred up. And so look around your life. Your assignment for the week is to look around and see, what is it that I'm not as excited about as I used to be, and stir it up. Get it going. Sit down next to your wife and watch a movie and get her excited by saying, that can't happen, about the fifth time Wile E. Coyote falls off the cliff. You know, that sort of thing. We are blessed with a terrific country. Probably you have a great family, possibly a good job. Don't take those things for granted. Be excited about them. Be glad that you have them. An old preacher used to say, I've never lost the wonder of it all. So I hope you haven't lost the wonder of the God in heaven that loves you and the life that he's blessed you with. And I hope your exciter's not broke. Thanks for watching. See you in church on Sunday, I hope.
Battle aid cable. Maybe it's dirty battle aid cables. Maybe it's dirty battle aid cables.